This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Good evening, basketball fans, wherever you may be. Welcome again to NBA Basket... Oh, wait, wrong show. Sorry about that. Oh, let me get the chat working. I gotta fix that. Hold on. What's going on? Gonna have to switch back to some other cases again, everybody. So if you're here to talk about Summer Wells for the 47,000th time, I'm not sure if I try to say 47,000th. Wow, that's hard. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna be doing something else. All right. So hopefully you guys still feel like supporting the channel, even if I'm talking about not Summer Wells, okay? Or not, Don Wells or Candace and Grant. Oh shit, I just did it again. Now I mentioned their names. Oh. One of these days we're gonna have a picture of Don Wells with a knot symbol through it. Yeah. Yeah, anything but. Yep. Wild. I don't know what that means. Sooner history. What does that even mean? Let's just type in a full sentence. Makes no sense. Let's see. Yeah, you'll figure it out, Jennifer. But right now we're going to be talking about crime. Is that okay? Oh, I see a red car or something like that. Yeah, so this was a weird story. I don't know where it's led. I might have to do... Let me check something out here. Hey, Mag. Jen H. Sarita. Norwegian. Drama must remain on the stage. Jennifer Rochelle. Helena Lawson. Nostit Potes. Wow, that's hard to say. Lee D. Zozo. If I missed you, it just scrolled up. I don't know. Yep, we've covered Canadian crimes. I get kind of bored covering Canadian crimes because we followed those two kids. But I just don't like when they ended up catching this person after all the efforts, they are just treated like little kids and let out of prison in 2 seconds. You know, like your guy that chopped off the person's head in a bus and he's out in 5 years. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, Australia's the same way. Everybody's redeemable. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that means, Lisa. But yeah, we donated $4,000. Yeah, it's not donation night. Isn't about. We're not raising funds. You know, it's to you know, like when you send money into this channel, it helps support the channel and donation night. But that's the night that makes it so that we can make a higher number, given that I donate 40 to 50% of the income that comes in. So, you know, like if last night was, I don't know, $1,000 or $1,500 total, you know, it just means it's just part of the total for the month. It's just the way it is. And that's the thing, if you don't want to, if 50% of the YouTube revenue isn't good enough for you, then this probably isn't going to be the place for you, okay? And that's after taxes. But you can go ahead and just keep staying on the other channels where it's 0, okay? So, good for you. Thanks, Lee D. So yes, those kind of questions are always a little bit nosy. Like, what would make somebody even think about asking something like that when I've explained it 75,000 times? Yeah. Right. And 50% is way more than normally when people go, yeah, now 10% of my proceeds are going, yeah, it's just, if I, the thing is I can do it, so I'm doing it, and we're making a difference. The goal at the beginning of the year was maybe to hit 30,000, and now it's going to be 40, okay? Last year was 22. Thank you, Nicole Wilson. Yeah. Yeah, but last night we donated $2,000, but then also $2,000 during the month. You know, 500 here, 500 there. More than good enough.
Winking face.
Thank you, Norweg. Are you from Norway? Norweg? I mean, I know it's almost seems obvious, but I don't know. God, it feels good right now. Just sort of not, I mean, I feel like a vibe of not the Summer Wells case. I want that one solved. I wanted it solved a long time ago. The Dancing Taco. The only way to get the UFO, however, is between $20.01 to $49.99. No, that's cool, Lisa, but you know,
in some more.
It's hi, like freaks. When everybody does that, it's usually when people ask that, sometimes it's a troll question. They're like, "Hey, now tell me exactly." You know, all I can tell you is that the last 3 months in a row, we've donated over $3,500 in the month. And PayPal, when you guys send in PayPals, it helps make it so it's more than 50. Like this yesterday was more than 50% of the net income, and that's because PayPal allows me to do more. I mean, I don't even have to. PayPal isn't YouTube revenue, so I could just be like, "Yay!" You know. Let's see. No, not talking about summer. Okay, so right now, if you only want to talk about Summer Wells, we have 222 people watching. If you only want to talk about Summer Wells tonight, please go to a different channel right now. Okay, now we're down to 217. Keep going. Right. Okay. Oh shit! Went back up to 220. Dang it! I thought that was. Thank you, Rita Schaefer. Oh, I got back up to 222. Dang it. Oh, man. That's sad. Oh, is that another one she just solved? I didn't hear about that one. Apparently they have 15 cases that they're waiting for the sequencing. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but it's on Facebook posts. Chesterfield police have identified a woman who allegedly dumped a backpack with suspected human remains into a store dumpster on Monday. Police did not release the name of the woman and said the investigation is ongoing. Her name has come out since then, though. And apparently they think maybe it was a baby or something. About 1:15 today, police responded to a report that an unknown female had placed a backpack in a dumpster behind a store several hours earlier. It was reported that the female then entered the store without the backpack before leaving the area. A store employee checked the backpack, saw what appeared to be blood on it, and called the police. Officers on the scene found what appeared to be human remains in the backpack. Surveillance cameras at the store captured images of the female who left the bag in the dumpster. And her name has come out since then. I'm not sure where that link is. I had that link earlier too. Let me look for it really fast. I think this is one that Ada was looking at. Alright, I think this is it right here. Virginia police identify woman who threw backpack that appear to be human remains in the dumpster. Virginia police have identified the woman who allegedly dumped a backpack filled with human remains. The female in the photo has been identified and located. Chesterfield County Police Department Public Information Officer Elizabeth Caroon told Inside Edition. On Monday, a store employee called police around 1:50 p.m. after they saw a woman throw a backpack into a large trash bin behind a store, and that's located behind a strip mall at 1100 Hull Street Road. I wonder where this is. Virginia Police. Chesterfield. Let's see. So right in this area, that's let's see, Hull Street Road. Does that look like that now? I wonder if that's it right there. Looked like more like a 7-Eleven or something, that store that she was in. Didn't it? Let's see. According to the news release, the woman entered the store without the backpack before leaving the area. The employees saw the backpack appear to have bloodstains on it and called the police. Police reportedly found identifiers on the backpack that may be connected to a local high school. Surveillance cameras at the store captured images of the female who left the bag in the dumpster. So her name, I have seen her name, but I don't think it's in this article. Let me look at that again. The 1100 block. Is that this street right here? I don't even know if I'm in the right spot at all. Whole Street Road, Chesterfield, Virginia. Is that what this road is? Right here, maybe? No. No, don't know. Oh, so they're saying that's the road. Okay, this road. I see. So now let's put that back on there again. Oh, well there you go. That's a whole different spot. But was it 11,000? I think. Yeah. So it would be down on the street right here. So that makes more sense. Like one of these deals, like perhaps this restaurant right here. And that's why it's got a lot of cameras on it. Yeah. So anyway, somewhere around in that area. That's pretty crazy. I wonder if she was pregnant and just sort of gave birth to the baby and put it in a backpack and threw it in there. That's crazy. It did seem like she had a little bit of a pouch on her, a little bit.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Thank you, Brandy Bradford. So, anyways, if you guys find an update on that one, let me know. I want to know what the hell happened in that one. Alright, here's another case here. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Psycho.
They're accused of trying to lure children on Grand Rapids' northwest side.
The suspect's sister tells us she feared her brother, who got out of prison last year, would try to sexually assault boys again. Grand Rapids police arrested him this morning after a neighbor spotted the surveillance picture
she's in high
police
school.
put out.
Investigators say the man tried to accost at least 5 boys at different times of the day in the area of Richmond and Alpine on the city's northwest side. Yesterday, it escalated when police say he physically assaulted a boy in Richmond Park. News 8's Susan Samples has the story tonight.
The man accused of 5 attempted child abductions was homeless, but the property owner here, who has a business next door, let the man pitch his tent here, wanted to help him out. We also learned that the suspect's sister lives just a half block away. The sister didn't want to talk on camera, but she pointed us to her brother's face tent here and accused
City's northwest side. Yesterday, it escalated when police say he physically assaulted a boy in Richmond Park. News 8's Susan Samples has the story tonight.
The man accused of 5 attempted child abductions was homeless, but the property owner here, who has a business next door, let the man pitch his tent here, wanted to help him out.
Right.
We also learned that the suspect's sister lives just a half block away. The sister didn't want to talk on camera, but she pointed us to her brother's Facebook page, where he had friended hundreds of boys. She said she was worried, warned him to stop and to quit drinking too, which she said made her brother mean. The 39-year-old sex offender, seen here on a surveillance video, had been troubled even as a child, she said, had been sexually assaulted as a teen himself. Then
Those are one of the, they're just, those kind of people just like that are just human garbage, right? They just, they should never even be walking around.
And at 22, court records show he attacked a 13-year-old boy, did 14 years in prison, got out in spring 2020.
I don't think the worst of people.
So why was he out in 14 years?
Business owner Bill Hansen said it's his faith that inspires him
Thanks,
to help
pancakes.
those in need. That's why he let the man stay in a tent on
Yeah,
his
thank you.
property for the last month. But he had no idea, he said, the man was a sex
Even
offender.
if I can't stay
Who
long,
does
I
that?
try
That's a
and
mental
always
illness.
come in to hit that
Bad.
like button. Thanks for
Well,
all
thank
you
you.
do.
Thank you.
Never seen it.
As a teen himself. Then at 22, court records show he attacked a 13-year-old boy, did 14 years in prison, got out in spring 2020.
You don't think the worst of people.
Business owner Bill Hansen said it's his faith that inspires him to help those in need. That's why he let the man stay in a tent on his property for the last month. But he had no idea, he said, the man was a sex offender.
Who does that? That's a mental illness. Bad. Never seen it.
Not really mental illness. That's
Hansen
just how he
learned
is.
of the
That's what
man's
he is.
arrest when police knocked on his door this morning. He hadn't seen the surveillance picture, but neighbor Larry Allred did. He also knew the man was on the sex offender registry.
We found out that he was a pedophile, and I asked him to move on, and so he moved to the other side of the building, to the other side of the street.
But don't you get it, Moms, Mabley? Pedophile, they're born that way, okay? How can we punish somebody for just acting out on the way they feel when they're born? I mean, 14 years was just too harsh for that guy. Don't you get it? Oh my God, these people should just be taken out. Yeah, they're just sick.
And then this morning when I woke up, I seen the news coverage that he was wanted, and I quickly took pictures of where he was at and sent them and called the police.
GRPD arrested the sex offender, who we're not naming since he's yet to be charged. Police say he...
Well, I even say, how about this, Stephen Kellogg? Let's say that is true. Okay? Why should it be accepted? I mean, it's just, wow, what an unfortunate fate for you, guy, but I don't know. I don't know what you do with them. Maybe castrate them? I mean, if you're born a pedophile, and that's what you are, you shouldn't be allowed to exist as somebody that's sexual at all. I know it sounds really mean, doesn't it? But it's true. Because that means that means they are attracted to small kids, and that's who, when they go out and satisfy their urges, that's who they're attacking. Okay, so like castration maybe, or death. I mean, I don't really know where you go. You just let them hang out and go around and do stuff. I mean, what do you guys think about that? It's a weird argument, right? I mean, but nobody's going to admit it at that point, right? Yeah, there's anybody's going to go, well, hey, everybody, and then claim that that's what... Ah, jeez. It's the whole
tried to
world's
lure
messed
boys
up.
5 different times by asking them to help him find his lost dog. Then, yesterday, investigators say he physically assaulted a child at Richmond Park.
Every one of these young boys acted the way they were supposed to act. They fled the area. They spoke to an adult.
The 39-year-old sex offender has yet to be officially charged. That could happen as soon as tomorrow. Tonight, he's in the Kent County Jail. On Grand Rapids West Side, Susan Samples, News 8.
Well, there you go. Crazy. I mean, we were just talking about this last night, okay? Or not here, but somewhere. I don't remember where it was. The clowns. This is another case right here. Wow, there's TED Talks out there, Zozo. You can watch them. Okay. As Ronald Schroeder took the stage as Silly the Clown. One summer day in 1991, Catherine Schroeder was pronounced dead the following day as Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. Let me see if I can do that quicker. As Ronald Schroeder took the stage, Silly the Clown, one summer day in 1991, his 7-week-old daughter lay dying across town. Catherine Schroeder was pronounced dead the following day at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. A medical examiner determined her injuries which included brain hemorrhage, detached retinas. This guy's look how psycho this idiot is. I wonder what took him so long to get arrested. I mean, as Ronald Schroeder took the stage as Silly the Clown one summer day in 1991, his 7-week-old daughter lay dying across town. Catherine Schroeder was pronounced dead the following day at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. A medical examiner determined her injuries, which included brain hemorrhaging, detached retinas, and broken ribs, were consistent with shaken baby syndrome. Now, it sounds more like barbarian human syndrome. It's not really a syndrome. Shaken baby syndrome. You know, it's not like a, you know, like you're shaking a baby around. Is that really a syndrome? You know, it sounds like to me a syndrome is something you sort of just have. You know, like Down syndrome or something. You know, shaken baby syndrome has nothing to do with the baby whatsoever, right, everybody? I think they should get rid of that weird-ass term and just call it psycho-shaking human syndrome. I don't know what the hell you call it, but it's ridiculous. On Wednesday, 30 years to the day after Catherine's death, Schroeder, 51, of Milwaukee, was charged with first-degree reckless homicide. That's it? And 2 counts of child abuse causing great harm. How do you break ribs, detach retinas, and let's go back up to that again. Okay. Brain hemorrhaging, detached retinas, broken ribs, and that's called shaken baby syndrome? That sounds like somebody pummeled this kid to death. I mean, just. On Wednesday, 30 years to the day after Catherine's death, Schroeder, 51, of Milwaukee, so he was 21 at the time, was charged with first-degree reckless homicide and 2 counts of child abuse causing great harm, and he has a bond of $350,000. Schroeder, a registered offender, has always been a suspect in the infant's death. A month before Catherine died, Schroeder was suspected of causing bruises on the baby's body. Schroeder was also suspected of abusing 2 of his other children in 1997 and 2005, and this took place in 1991. The child was 5 weeks old at the time. Man, how sick. The 1997 case appears to involve Schroeder's infant son. None of the allegations led to charges. You're crying too much. Will this work? I mean, what in the hell was this guy doing? I mean, did he just grab him? I mean, I don't know. He should just get first-degree murder. There's no reckless anything. None of the allegations led to charges, though. Authorities reopened the case of Catherine's death in 1998. Schroeder remained free until 2007 when he was arrested for sexually assaulting a girlfriend. A 2008 story by Milwaukee Magazine spoke to the woman who met Schroeder as a teenager. At the time of the sexual assault, the woman was about 20. The woman told police she and Schroeder had gone out to a bar where she had too much to drink. Back at his home in Brookfield, she passed out. The next morning, Ron was joking about taking pictures of me naked when I was passed out. He was not. Schroeder showed her photos of her lying on a bed naked and unconscious. Additional images later found on his computer showed the sexual assault. They also found 160 photos of what detectives described as child pornography. Schroeder was never charged in connection with the child porn, but along with the sexual assault charges, makes you wonder what he was really doing with the babies. Okay? This guy, he does. He was charged with 27 counts of capturing an image of nudity. He was released in 2013, but is serving 12 years of extended supervision. He will be on the sex offender registry for life. Shouldn't he have already been on that? It was not clear what new evidence, if any, prompted authorities to take another look. See, that's what I wanted to know. Based on the injuries observed at autopsy, which included subdural hemorrhaging, let's see, subarachnoid hemorrhaging, cerebral cortical contusions, hemorrhages, retinal hemorrhages, optic nerve sheath hemorrhages, and fracture to the right ribs 2 through 5, Dr. Peterson concluded that Catherine Schroeder died as a result of blunt force trauma to the head. The criminal complaint states ruled the manner of death as homicide. Schroeder, then 22, called 911 just after midnight, August 25th, 1991, to report that Catherine was not breathing. She died about 17 hours later at the hospital. A certain magazine reported that Milwaukee magazine reported that Schroeder's wife, Kristen Schroeder, knew something was wrong with the baby during the day, August 24th, because it couldn't eat or sleep. More alarming was the infant's blank stare. Her eyes remained fixed when Kristen Schroeder waved her hand. Oh man, so it was already brain damage. The worried mother would later tell authorities that she lived in fear of her husband, who she said ruled their home with his fists. Ron told her not to take Katie to the hospital. Ron Schroeder denied ever hurting his wife or daughter. He also denied the accusations of abuse. Schroeder, Silly the Clown persona, was well liked by his young audiences, as well as his fellow performers. Known for his balloon animals and his invisible dog routine, he performed at the Milwaukee County Zoo. When you first meet him, you think he's the nicest guy in the world. We hear that a lot. But when the relationship gets more in depth, his true nature starts coming out. Beckler described his former son-in-law as a very sick individual. Despite the abuse, Ron and Christine Schroeder married in 1991 when 22-year-old Christine was 7 months pregnant. Katie was born premature July 3rd, and she would be dead within 3 months. This guy's... I don't even want to read any more about him. He's just a psycho. Let me do it. Christine Schroeder would later tell police that Katie showed signs of being unwell the day before she died. Her breathing was labored, and she cried out in pain as her diaper was changed. Oh, that's interesting right there, right? Sometime after 11 p.m., as Ron Schroeder tried to feed the girl, she stopped breathing. By the time paramedics got to her house, she was in a coma. Multiple doctors suspected abuse and told detectives as much. They diagnosed her trauma as a result of shaken baby syndrome. There is ample evidence that Catherine not only died of physical abuse, but was battered on at least one, likely multiple occasions. Investigators could not make a case against either Schroeders, both of whom hired lawyers and refused to talk. 3 years later, Christine Schroeder gave birth to the couple's second daughter. When a public health nurse asked about her other children, Schroeder lied and told the woman her first child died of SIDS. A Milwaukee County judge would soon order the new baby removed from the Schroeder's home. She lived her first 5 years with her maternal grandparents. Ron Schroeder was next accused of abuse by a live-in girlfriend who gave birth to his son in 1997. The magazine reported. The girlfriend later told police about multiple incidents in which Schroeder had abused her and their small son. She packed and left for good in November 1998. See, how come he wasn't, like, in prison here? Now, the baby was choking on her own blood when first responders arrived at the Schroeder home. Doctors at Children's, where Katie had died 13 years before, found bruises on her chest. This is another kid, and abdomen. The infant's right leg was also broken in 2 places. This is in 2008, and he's not, like, in prison. Last week's criminal complaint does not address what... I mean, I don't even... This guy is sick. Why is he walking around, everybody? Man. I gotta get off of that one. That's just sick. Alright. So we got a little bit of an update on the hiker case here. It's kind of weird wording and stuff here.
This is KPIX5.
Back to you, Jim.
Now on KPIX5 and streaming on CBSN Bay Area, firefighters gained some ground in the fight to save Tahoe.
But the road ahead is long and challenging. The dangers they're facing today. Good afternoon, I'm Lynn Keys.
And I'm Gianna Franco.
And I'm Ann Magovic live in South Lake Tahoe, where that firefight continues right now. In fact,
thanks, Brandy Bradford. Sometimes that works, sometimes not. But this is the first day of the month, everybody. So let's get off the month with a bang.
now we're hearing it could be going on for several more weeks. And at this point, the 50,000 people who have been evacuated from this area have no idea when they're going to be able to return home. Taking a look at the progress, though, that firefighters made overnight, they were able to luck out with some lighter winds, and they did.
That's not what I was going to look at. It's just down here. So here he goes. Federal
Ocean wave.
Thank you. Ocean wave, everybody. Federal park officials ordered the closure of a trail in Mariposa County Sunday, where the bodies of a family and their dog were discovered dead. So now they're doing what we were saying. From unknown causes earlier this month. Since Sunday, several recreational sites and trailheads around the Savage Lundy Trail in the Sierra National Forest were closed for a month to provide for public safety. Per the order, anyone using or being anywhere near the listed trailhead could be subject to fines up to $5,000 to $10,000. Wow, that's pretty severe to even, like, oh, you just go onto the trail and that's how big it is. The announcement came as investigators continue looking into what killed John Garish, his wife Ellen Chung, their 1-year-old daughter Meece, and their dog back in August. Their bodies were found on a hiking trail near Heights Cove. Investigators said this week that they were still unsure of what killed the family. Last week they ruled out the possible gases from a nearby mine could have been the culprit. Joy Burton. Garish was a British expat turned... Well, thanks, Brandy, for the effort. Garish was a British expat turned San Francisco software designer who, with his wife, fell in love with the Mariposa area and bought several homes there, a residence for themselves and rental investments over the last few years. Alright, so we got that one, but it's kind of the wording of one of these other ones. Maybe it's this one. Trails and campgrounds near Yosemite where a family and their dog were found dead have been closed because of unknown hazards. That's a really weird statement there. What's going on with this thing? Wow. This extra window up here.
Every customer has their own Safe Light story. This couple loves camping adventures, and their SUV is always there with them. So when their windshield got a chip, they wanted it fixed fast. They drove to Safe Light Auto Glass for a guaranteed same-day in-shop repair. We repaired the chip before it could crack.
Yes,
and with their
that's
insurance,
right, everybody.
there was no cost to them.
And you too can buy a... It's almost done. Is this related? What's going on with this site? It's really weird. I'll just read it. Federal forest officials closed trails and campgrounds in a remote area near Yosemite National Park because of unknown hazards located in the area where a family and their dog were mysteriously found dead last month. The bodies of Jonathan Garish, Ellen Chung, their 1-year-old daughter, Miju, and a family dog were found by search and rescue workers on August 17th in a remote area of the Sierra National Forest. Designated recreation sites, roads, and trails in proximity and or leading to this location will be off limits. Which is just so crazy. That's why it's just one of those weird mysteries, isn't it? Or I guess they're still probably waiting for the toxicology reports. Yeah. I hope they don't bring up rattlesnakes again. Signs warning of a toxic algae bloom have been posted since mid-July along the South Fork of the Merced River in the vicinity of where the family was found. So that's still out there, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so right around in this area is the, this is where it all went down. They lived over here. They drove up here, parked their car. There's also a gate here, so I guess they could have parked here. But they saw their footprints going around this way, but then they were found here. So they think they walked all the way around, but I said, well, they could have even gone down this way and then back up, but it's a 2,000-foot climb back up, and it was 107 to 109. So I always, throw heat stroke into the equation, but it could be lots of different things. But they've closed it all down right now. Still a mystery. Well, yeah. To do emojis, what emojis, Karen? They're down below where you type in a chat. There's a little smiley face. If you want the emojis that everyone, like the channel members have, you have to be a channel member. Really? I don't see that at all. Living it. I think if it was suicide, they would have figured something out by now. Murder suicide. But I guess that's just as likely as anything else at this point. Yeah, so I don't really have much more to add to this. I just thought it was interesting that they were saying like unknown something. See, now you're into this. It's spooky almost, right? Like this unknown element out there that may have killed 4 different living beings. Yeah. Okay, so we've did that one, and then this one's kind of interesting. This is one of the freaks in here. Denise, not Dennis. I guess her ex-husband's dad is a killer. So, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was a serial killer. Or a serial rapist, anyways. Yeah, child rapist, not a serial killer. So, anyways, here we go. So this is her ex-husband's dad, I guess. He was on the run for 20 years, a convicted Michigan child rapist who authorities say conned women across the country with wild tales about his identity. An FBI agent, a CIA agent, a prisoner of war, James Meece said whatever it took to gain the trust of women just so he could rape again, authorities say. And it worked. He raped the woman he tricked, authorities said, for sexually assaulted their children during a decade-long scheme that eventually was busted by the very same men Meece pretended to be. So he pretended to be like FBI, CIA. On Wednesday, following a decade-long manhunt, the U.S. Marshals Service, this isn't that long ago, it's 2020, a year ago. On Wednesday, following a decades-long manhunt, the U.S. Marshals Service announced the capture of Meece, who was arrested by federal agents in Central California. This is kind of interesting that it's so close to one of the freaks, where he had been hiding out in a house with the help of a woman who helped cover his tracks. Among those involved in the arrest were FBI agents who teamed up with local authorities in a house raid that was initially put off because COVID-19, but ultimately went down July 29th and ended with Meece in handcuffs. Meece is currently in federal custody in California, awaiting extradition. Meece's arrest came 4 months after his case was profiled in a March episode of the TV series In Pursuit with John Walsh. Meece has been on the run since fleeing Michigan in 1999, when he was released on parole after serving time for raping 2 Michigan children from the Upper Peninsula. He never registered as a sex offender, as ordered. Well, shouldn't it just be, why do you have to register as one? Just register him, you know? Why do you go, well, he didn't register, so we didn't have a record of him. Well, what do you mean? Meece, now 71, was convicted in... I mean, doesn't that weird sometimes, just sort of the weird logic that's out there? Well, hey, Meece, you need to come in and register and sign some paper. No, you're just... Now that you're in here, we're registering you. You didn't know what about videos? I didn't know that about videos? I don't get it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, this isn't a private video, though. I don't get it. Let's see. He never did. Instead, 6 months into his parole, he fled, triggering a warrant for his arrest. A decade would go by before the feds took over. In 2011, that's when the U.S. Marshals Service, Detroit Fugitive Apprehension Team, adopted the case. Another 7 years would pass before a solid tip came in. In 2018, investigators obtained information about Meece that tied him to a woman in El Monte, California. Investigators would eventually learn that the woman had married Meece in Las Vegas in 2001 and that the couple went to great lengths to hide the marriage. By late 2018, investigators would learn that the woman was still in contact with Meece and had done plenty of cover-up work on his behalf. Why would you ever want to help that guy? Jeez. Yeah, so there was this article right here. I think there's a video in here.
His whole life has been deception, deceit, fraud, obviously sexual assault. It's awful.
Over 20 years on the run, 71-year-old James Meece finally caught.
Our investigators never gave up on pursuing Mr. Meece, even through a pandemic.
Meece, who has a history of rape and weapons charges in Ohio, moved to Escanaba in Michigan's UP in the late 80s, where U.S. Marshals say he moved in with a woman and her young girls, ages 9 and 12, brutally sexually assaulting them for 2 years.
I can't even imagine what those young girls were going through, but he convinced them that if they were to ever tell anyone about what he had done to them, that he would come back and kill them.
Meece, convicted of criminal sexual conduct in 1991, then deemed a Tier 3 sex offender. But when paroled in 1999, Meece failing to register and taking off.
Mr. Meece tried
to
lay
his... What does that even mean? You register him, or maybe it was before the registers. Like he was told. I don't know. I don't get that.
Low as possible, using different identities, trying to conceal his whereabouts. So.
Meece then mooching off of women across the country, telling tall tales to gain their trust before sexually assaulting them or their children. Stories of being a prisoner of war, of being tortured by the Vietnamese, or that he worked for the CIA or FBI.
I think he even told people that he was a U.S. Marshal at one point.
But U.S. Marshals discovering Meece, who had been using the name Anthony Benetti, had gotten married to a woman in 2001. She'd been living in El Monte, California, and told police she hadn't seen Meece since 2004.
She always denied knowing where he was at.
But on July 29th, U.S. Marshals, along with local police, showing up to her California home to search for documents Meece had used, only to find Meece comfortably sitting on the couch.
I'm sure after years of being on the run, he was quite shocked.
The 71-year-old living a meager lifestyle, looking weathered, though some of his explicit tattoos still unmistakable.
His appearance had changed over the years for sure, and he was looking pretty rough, to be quite frank.
U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement recovering fraudulent identity documents and a sniper rifle after cuffing Meece, a moment nearly 21 years in the making.
I truly hope that his victims find some relief that he's been locked up and is no longer going to be able to victimize anyone else.
U.S. Marshals say there could be more victims out there. If you feel you may have been a victim of James Meece, please call them at 313-234-5656. I'm Erica Erickson, Fox 2 News.
Wow. Let's see. Meece, who has a history of rape and weapons charges in Ohio, moved to Escanaba in Michigan.
His whole life has been...
In 1980s, that was where the marshal says he moved in with a woman. I don't know if they just said all this that's on here, but this is... it's kind of creepy. One of the freaks, their ex-husband's dad. That's who this guy is right here. He was like, catch me if you can. CIA, FBI, pretended to be that. But thought I'd put that out there since she sent me an email about it. I'm sure there's probably this huge backstory. Probably you could make a movie out of it in a negative way. Yeah, it should say that. But you know what I noticed when the whole month when we were covering Summer Wells, it seems like everybody's a little bit more excited in the chat, you know. you almost feel like you have to keep covering it over and over again. It's weird. Maybe it'll just be a shorter night. Hey, D&K Reck. Yeah, so this is interesting here because I went back a little bit and got in Miami in the like right around 2000, 2001. These people, three women were killed right in a 3-year period, all sex workers. Let's see what this one says. This is a mother to all, a strong woman who liked to party, Their friends, family, their friend, I guess is what it says. Family and near family gathered Saturday afternoon for a memorial service and party celebrating the life of Kim Dietz Livesey, the Fort Lauderdale woman whose body was found stuffed in a suitcase on Tuesday in Cooper City. Dietz, 35, had wild teens, 20s, and spent her final 6 years trying to recover from alcohol and drug addiction. Many of her friends belonged to the group of Bikers in Recovery, a group of Harley-Davidson enthusiasts. She let me live here when I had no place else to go, and she did it for a lot of other people too, said Mark Snowflake. Macaulay, as fellow bikers sipped on non-alcoholic beer at the house she and her husband, Michael Lively, owned. She was both a sister and a mother. She was always either lifting weights, jogging, or bicycling, said her mother. Kay, now married to Andy Arl of Jupiter. It was a way to relieve stress. It seemed as though her life had turned around when she met Michael Livesey at a recovery house. I don't think that was ever a good time to turn around. Like, yeah, I'm trying to turn my life around. Why don't I go ahead and meet somebody at a recovery shelter? When her daughter Victoria Ann was born, thank you, Sarita. Yep, one of those slow nights. If we'd covered Summer Wells, though, it'd be bustling. She really wanted to be a mother, and she was an excellent one. Some Fred said postpartum depression led to her return to drugs and alcohol. She lived in Miami her final months, going in and out of treatment before she was murdered on Wednesday. It's sad when we see people taken down by it, because we realize it could be one of us. So that is one of the victims, Kim Dietz, there. Then there's another, that's still about her. Victim was fighting to rebuild life. Yeah, so it's kind of basically the similar story as the first one. But it's, let me open this up. This was Kim Dietz Livesey's month before two passerbys discovered her dead inside of a suitcase. A GNC health store manager, a beaming mother of a toddler, a wife, an active member of Bikers in Recovery, a boundless free spirit, her family says. Her mantra, today is a better day than yesterday, a hint to her inner turmoil, years of wrestling with alcohol and drug addiction. Her family is sure that a recent battle with those problems led to her last episode, the gruesome discovery of her nude body in a brown suitcase left on a busy West Broward County road on June 22nd. The case is a challenge for Cooper City Police Department detectives. That's brutal. Jeez. It's a little bit like sounds like similar to the Lumberton case. You know, 3 sex workers. Thanks, Lee D. The Aussies coming through. The Aussies. Thank you. Oi, oi, oi. You guys are funny. Let's see. It's not every day you find a body in a suitcase on the side of a road, Detective Robert Cates said. Investigators won't say how Dietz Livesey died, but they believe at least 2 people were involved. Thanks, Brandy
Riding
Bradford.
the freak wave. Ocean wave. Let's go. Heart.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you, Heather Marie. Awesome. See, wow. And Tawny Lee, thank you. Man, you guys are the best. Look at that. It's gonna. Frugal going around. Yeah, you can almost rap to that one.
Ocean wave. Never change grey. Heart.
I'll try not to. I don't know why. I'm really digging the taco dance.
Ocean wave. Ocean wave. Ocean wave.
Well, thank you guys, all of you, for the wave there. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, and Georgina Stoliker. Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe. I gotta make the UFO at a different level. Hey, thanks, Miss Frellis. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, I like the taco guy. I don't know. It makes me want to go eat a taco. It's weird, too, because the taco's alive, you know, and I feel kind of strange thinking, boy, I want to eat a taco when I'm looking at a living taco. You know, it's kind of strange. I think it's a little bit like saying, I want to eat a steak, but then there's a cow right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Real close to that. Yeah.
Ocean wave.
Thanks, Georgina Stolik. Yeah, it looks like this perfect taco. It's weird. Yeah. I wonder, let's see what it says. It's not every day you find a body in a suitcase on the side of the road. They must have panicked, Kate said. There are a million places they could have dumped her, but why put her on the side of the road? When television and newspapers reported the discovery and the victim's distinctive rose tattoos, Michael Lively had a feeling it was his estranged wife. They had recently separated after Dietz Livesey began using drugs again. So she was all the way out and then got back into drugs. I cried and cried, said Livesey, a recovering alcoholic, who met Kim Dietz 3 years ago at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. They fell in love and married in June 1998. I couldn't imagine how something like this happened to someone normal. And it says, normal people don't do that. In our support groups, we realize things are going to happen to some of us. But man, to have someone killed and stuffed in a suitcase and drop them in the middle of daylight, no one deserves that. Livesey, 36, cares for the couple's 16-month-old daughter, Victoria. Motherhood had added to Livesey's good spirits, her family said. Nancy Hicks, who lived next door to the Livesey when newlyweds shared a Wilston Manors apartment, recalled how thrilled Kim was in 1998 to learn she was pregnant. She seemed so happy, Hicks recalled. She also counseled new customers to Bikers in Recovery, a group of Harley-Davidson enthusiasts recovering from alcohol addiction. The couple moved to a home in Oakland Park in 1999. Neighbors would see her jogging behind her daughter's stroller. She lifted weights and exercised at a gym she set up in her new home. She loved being a mother, said her stepfather, Andy Arl, who lived with Dietz Livesey's mother, Kay, in Jupiter. She always had a smile on her face. Added Kay, it was like her life woke up and all the happiness came out. After Dietz Livesy's death, it's hard to saying her name over and over again. It's almost like I'd rather just say K. No, actually it's Kimberly, so let me just say. After Kimberly's death, Kimberly began collecting news articles and photos of his daughter. He kept Kim's wedding ring to pass on to Victoria when she's older. She keeps asking for her. She doesn't realize that what has happened, or what has been going on, he said. He will tell his daughter that her mom was born in 1965. Well, that's the year I was born, so she'd probably be the same age as me, obviously. In a Hialeah hospital and grew up in Hollywood. She loved Harley-Davidson motorcycles and the couple's weekend jaunts to Daytona Beach. She took long runs and enjoyed dancing with friends. Her interest in health and nutrition. But Dlive had struggled with drugs and alcohol since her 20s, floating in and out of rehab programs. Until recently, Livesey and other relatives said she seemed to be walking a smoother path. She had been sober for 3 years, her stepfather said. She was really taking care of herself. It is unclear what triggered Dlive's old addictions, but in May, her husband filed for divorce. It doesn't take much for those addictions to come back, her mother said. She was fighting them every day. It's like a disease. You become somebody else. You become a split personality. Kimberly moved to El Portal to live with a sponsor from her rehab program. Kimberly heard she was working, Livesey, I think this must be the husband, heard she was working as a florist in Miami-Dade County. The last time her mother saw her was on Mother's Day, when Kimberly was having a good day and seemed happy. 2 weeks later, she was caught in a prostitution sweep in Miami. So now we know that she was a sex worker at this point. So yeah, it just sucks. She was doing so well, and then somehow she got back on the drugs, drinking again, and then to support that habit, got back into prostitution. It's just such a horrible cycle. So 2 weeks later, she was caught up in prostitution sweep in Miami. At about 2 p.m. June 7th, Dlive walked up to an undercover Miami police officer in Legion Park and offered to perform a sex act for $25, according to police reports. She was also carrying cocaine. Dlive's family is adamant that she was not a prostitute. They say she veered to the wrong path. Well, I mean, she was right at that moment, right? I mean, maybe that's not what her whole world was, but she was right at that moment. And I know what they're saying, like that wasn't what she'd always been doing, but maybe right at that moment in time, she became that to make money. She got busted, but that is not the way she was, Livesey said. I think that's her mom. It was something she fell into when she went out this time. Her stepfather adds, she had a bad addiction. She couldn't kick it. I don't know what led her back to drugs. 2 weeks after the arrest, a curious couple on their way to work on Flamingo Road, just north of Sheridan Street, spotted the suitcase, pulled over, and discovered Dlive's 5'6" frame crammed into it. More than 250 people attended her funeral, many of them bikers and recovery members whom Dlive had helped over the years. After they gathered at Michael and Kim's Oakland Park home, sipped non-alcoholic beers and reminisced. Questions still remain. The family recently posted a $10,000 reward. Investigators' best lead so far comes from a witness who spotted two men carrying a suitcase on Flamingo just before her body was found. Okay. And then there's another person out here. Sia Demos. So here's another person. January 1st, so not too long after the last one. Welcome, Muck Boys! One by one, every man arrested for picking up a prostitute in Miami-Dade or Broward counties in the past year has received a knock on his door. Homicide detectives, wanting to discuss a different matter, the murder of 2 prostitutes whose bodies were found stuffed into suitcases. So now there's a second one. Sometimes the detectives were greeted with hostility, but that merely cemented their resolve. They are certain the same person murdered Sia Demos as Kim Dlive, leaving their bodies in places so public that some interpret the gesture as a taunt. That does seem like that now. To law enforcement, but they have yet to catch the killers. Their investigation is one of the more massive local police efforts in recent years. Roughly 30 agents have followed up on more than 250 leads. Detectives blanketed seedier sections of Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. Not a lot of mapping on this one because they're not really... So look at, there's the suitcase. You can see it right there. Look at that. I mean, just think, you just throw it right there on the road and there's a body in it. And that's Kim Dlive. You can see what she looks like right there. And this is Sia Demos. They left business cards with John Motel Manager Street. These are how the investigation is going. So here's on June 22nd, an electrician driving his pickup along Flamingo Road. So I guess we could get this in here. This in Miami, right? Along Flamingo Road, north of Sheridan Street, in Cooper City. Okay. Okay, and then the other road was... My wife's so excited, she just walked in to show me some of the fruits and vegetables out of the garden. Yeah. Lincoln Road and Sheridan. Okay, so that's right here. Just north, so it's right here. Oh man, what in the hell happened there? Whole bunch of windows collapsed on me. It was weird. Alright, so right here. Right there. To should be right around in this area. This is gonna be Dlive. Alright, I'm going to go down the street view here. Now let's see if we can actually see the exact spot by looking at this picture that was above. So there's some lights right there. So they're on, looks like they're on the, they're basically, like, I think I can see those overhanging lights. So is that the, that's the intersection. So yeah, almost right where I have this pin. It's right here. Yeah, so see these lights hanging, 1, 2, right up in there? And then this grass, I think that's like right here. Probably could even be, it's hard to tell for sure, but it's somewhere right around in this area right here. I would say probably could even be just like right here. You can see the slope there. I think that's close enough. I'm going to put it like right here. Suitcase right there. Alright. Out of curiosity, he stopped and got out. So on June 22nd, an electrician driving his pickup along Flamingo Road, just north of Sheridan Street in Cooper City, passed a bulging brown suitcase sitting by the side of the road. Out of curiosity, he stopped and got out. He unzipped the bag. Inside was the body of Kim Dlive. The 35-year-old woman had a troubled past that included an arrest for cocaine and prostitution. She had several tattoos, a rose on the inner arm, a dragon on her tricep, and a ring of flowers, and ivy encircling her wrist. Detectives traced her last day to Night's Inn in the, let's go find that, 3500 block of 3500 Biscayne Boulevard, right there. And it's probably like that one there, you'd think, right? And it's called Night's Inn. Oh, it's a Night's Inn, so maybe it's that's probably still called that, I would imagine. No, it's not there. So it might have changed the name. So right around in this area. So that's where she was last seen, and then her body was dumped right over here. There is a Night's Inn right there, though. Oh, and there's one right there. Let me type that in again. 3500. Hope I'm not boring you guys to death, but 3500 Biscayne Boulevard. Yeah, that one's so close. Don't know where that was, but that is 3500 right there. Where is 3600? Yeah, it's just right there, so nope. Okay, well, I know for some people they like to, a quick action here, but we're just kind of working through this. Avalanche of tips. Let's see. Many of those close to the slain woman who would make the most likely tipsters are unable to provide reliable information. They have a hard life, says Detective David Frisbee of the Cooper City Police Department. They followed up on the avalanche of leads from newspaper readers and TV viewers. Media accounts of the killings include a sketch of a man believed to have been in Dimas's company when she was last seen. So this is another individual right here. Wait, so which one? When did they switch cases here? Okay. Second victim. On the morning of August 9th, well, let me read this because I wonder why they brought her name up here. They followed up on the avalanche of leads from newspaper readings. These tips and other things. These tips led agents to New York, Virginia, Georgia, South Carolina. They also led down many blind alleys. That's amazing they put so much work into sex workers, trying to figure out who killed them. People call and say, I think my neighbor looks like the guy. Alright, so here's the second victim. On the morning of August 9th, a woman walked her dog along Southwest 31st Avenue between Griffin and Sterling Roads. Let's see where that is. Do some, so it would be 31st and 31st and Sterling. Is that it? That says 31st Terrace. And she was in Cooper City, so let me do that again. Okay. That's 31st. That's a hard one. Southwest 31st. Okay. Okay. And then Griffin and Sterling. So Griffin, 31st. So Sterling, is it the next big one? That's Griffin. Okay. Griffin. We're almost there. And now we'll do Sterling, right? Is that what it is? Sterling. So they're saying on 31st Avenue between Griffin and Sterling. So somewhere right around in here is where the next suitcase was found. And that would be the body of Sia Dimas. So now those bodies are pretty close. 2 suitcases, right? So anyways, as the As she meandered past, let me see. On the morning of August 9th, a woman walking her dog along Southwest 31st Avenue between Griffin and Sterling Roads in... Oh, that's a different place? Does that exist? Hold on. I didn't realize it actually had another beach in Sterling in Dania Beach. That's the same place. Let me see if this goes here. Okay, so yeah, that's the right one. This is just an area here, so right there. Good. All right. As she meandered past the medical exam, where does it start up again? Oh, I guess she just happened to be walking past the medical examiner's office. The woman spotted a 4-foot duffel bag by the side of the road. Well, let's see where that is. The medical examiner's office. Look at that. That's just right there. That's funny. Jeez. That does seem like taunting at this point, right? I wonder if it was right here, though. Thank you, newspaper, for having extra information. The woman called 911. Inside the bag, police found the body of Sia Damas. Here, let me go down to just see what it looks like right here. So you think that's a coincidence? To dump the body right near a medical examiner's office and in plain sight? Doesn't seem like it. Inside the bag, police found the body of Sia Damas. The 21-year-old had a history of drug and prostitution. She also had 4 tattoos, the word Philly on her right wrist, titty on her left, and then drew on her right calf a peace sign, heart symbol, and smiley face. Detectives learned that, drew is, she didn't draw, I mean, it's actually drew the name on her right calf. Detectives learned that she too occasionally stayed at the Knight's Inn. Ooh. So she too stayed at that same place, the Knight's Inn on Biscayne Boulevard. They have fielded calls from tipsters in jail. They have looked up registered sex offenders. Detectives contacted international police. Cooper City detectives even gave a presentation to 30 South Florida police departments. Cooper City detectives even gave a presentation to 30 South Florida police departments to see if they had similar cases. They have asked the FBI to compile a profile of the likely killer. So they went on and on and on, trying to figure something out. And this is a similar picture in here, but a shorter article. That was where Dietz Livesey was found. Yeah, it does seem like a Tawny. Miami-Dade and Broward County homicide detectives investigating the slaying of 2 women are visiting every local man arrested for soliciting a prostitute. So I think this is a similar article, just shortened up a little bit. How crazy. So, after that, we've got... I couldn't find an article on a third victim, but this came out yesterday.
Coming to the families of 3 South Florida women whose murder remains a mystery for 2 decades. Until now, a multi-agency international search for a serial killer is over tonight. CBS 4's Austin Carter has more from BSO headquarters with who investigators say that killer is and what happened to him.
And if you've lived in South Florida for a while now,
be
you may
DNA
remember
again,
these 3 murders that were left unsolved until now. Investigators tell us this case is proof that justice never expires. 3 cold cases closed. A serial killer responsible for the deaths of these South Florida women 20 years ago has been identified.
This suspect, Roberto Fernandez, was indeed responsible for the brutal murder of all 3 of these women.
It all began in the summer of 2000 when the body of Kimberly Dietz Livesey was found stuffed inside a suitcase along this Cooper City road. Weeks later, the body of Sia Demas was found in a duffel bag near Dania Beach.
Very sad, but it's very scary because the person that did this is still out there.
Then a year later, Jessica Good was found floating in Biscayne Bay in Miami. A joint investigation by the Broward County Sheriff's Office and City of Miami Police found that DNA at 2 of the 3 crime scenes were a match, but who the killer was remained a mystery.
Unfortunately, traditional methods of submitting that profile and those fingerprints into automated government systems to see if anybody was a match came back with nothing.
In 2011, Miami homicide investigators were able to match the suspect's DNA from the 2 Broward County murders to the Miami one. All 3 murders with one match, the fingerprints of Roberto Fernandez, which were collected following the death of his wife years earlier. But there was one problem. He had already left the country for South America.
This case was going to transcend borders and brought in international implications.
When investigators got to Brazil, it was reported that Fernandez had died in a plane crash in 2005. Late last year and early this year, his grave was opened.
We were able to confirm ultimately that Mr. Fernandez was
Fernandez, which were collected following the death of his wife years earlier. But there was one problem. He had already left the country for South America.
This case was going to transcend borders and brought in international implications.
When investigators got to Brazil, it was reported that Fernandez had died in a plane crash in 2005. Late last year and early this year, his grave was opened.
We were able to confirm ultimately that Mr. Fernandez was deceased.
Wow, that's pretty
The body was exhumed, DNA was taken, and it all matched.
Michael Livesey, the once husband of Kimberly Dietz Livesey, waited 2 decades for answers.
My heart goes out to the other families and loved ones of every victim. I certainly hope that this will give them a sense.
He was the one that she was married to and then got a divorce because she started doing drugs again and was taking care of the 16-month-old child.
It's of closure as it does mine.
And investigators also believe that this suspect may be involved in other murders here in the U.S. If you have any information, you're asked to give Broward County Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 954-493-TIPS. Reporting in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Austin Carter, CBS 4 News.
Here, let's see if we can watch most of this one.
You know, one of the core things that we have tried to do here in this organization
it's not very
over the
good.
last 2.5
Only
years.
one audio.
Now at 6, an early morning car crash in southwest Miami-Dade.
See, I always fix these for you guys. So what I do is I'll take this, go like that, record it, then I fix the audio.
Sit for months and sometimes even
was spearheaded this investigation.
After speaking with her boyfriend, investigators continued the investigation and spoke with the company owner for that van and determined that there was only one employee that was driving that van.
I don't know. It's only coming out of one ear and it's pretty bad. But, you know, the one good thing about DNA out there, everybody, is all the people who killed people, you spoiled. Yes, we spoiled. Oh, you're spoiled. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even know that press conference was available. I didn't see it down and below in there. Which proves that I don't read these. I like to work through them at the same time. But all the people out there, well, at least his name will always be soiled, and anybody associated with him. And then, but everybody that's raped anybody from like 1960 on that's still alive, they're all just sitting in their homes, crapping their pants, waiting for the door to get knocked on. If the victim had been found that they murdered. Yeah, and even just rapes. These people... That's the beauty of just knowing that there's genetic genealogy out there. There's never a moment of peace anymore. They thought, I got away with it. Nobody's ever going to be talking about me again. Nobody's ever going to come here. Boy, I got away with it. So I like that part. So what we should do right now is I'll do my little vacation thing. And then we'll do, I've already done 45 minutes or 47 minute show earlier, but we can do like an hour of newspapers.com, everybody. Okay. But think of good ones this time, all right? Jeez.
Yay, you guys, think of some good ones next time, okay?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said too. All right. I'm just gonna have to. Hey, what happened to the audio? Let me try it again. There we go. There it is. Thanks for the trees there, beholder. Da, 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 da. Newspapers.com. We found some wild stuff on there. Dun, dun, dun. We're gonna have to get at least, I don't know, $25-50 during this vacation to be able to get to the newspapers.com. Unfortunately, we've got goals to meet. Ba, 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 da, 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 da. If not, we'll just play this music for hours and hours. Yeah, I like doing the newspaper. Da, 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 da. There it is. There it is. Little chapstick. Okay. Thanks, Georgina Stoliker. Dun, dun, dun. No, you can't take it. Yeah. It's gonna. Hey, Zozo. Better rile up the troops. Yeah. You notice how we got down to a lot less people when we were talking about the serial killer cases? Only 167 people. Because it just didn't include the possibility that Summer Wells would be talked about. Dun, dun, dun. My nephew just found out he has a 33-year-old daughter. She did a DNA test and his other daughter had done the same. Oh, cool. Hey, thanks, Michelle Nicola. Oh, there you go. Newspapers.com. Thanks, Jen Richards. I'll have to put a timer on this one now. Ah, awesome. Oh wait, that's gonna be good. It's gonna do the UFO because it's $49.99. Here we go. We get to see the UFO, everybody.
Let the ocean wave begin.
There it is. I'm gonna make it bigger. Yeah. Linda Moulton Howe, the cattle mutilations.
Newspapers, please. Thanks, Gray. Hi, freaks.
Oh yeah, the conspiracy theory wackos. Yeah, there's lots of cases out there. You wouldn't know that, though. Well, hell, I might be able to... I'm just going to go use the facilities. We'll come back and just get right off of the vacation. But if you guys would like to help out, that's great. Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna have somebody try to cut some branches off from trees. I don't know what she wants done. I needed to eat something there. Forgot to eat. Alright, you guys ready? Hello, William Zambrano. Alright, here we go. Alright. So what are we looking at? Try to think of something that's like not just it has to be a wording that's in an article that would lead to something. Like pick a state. What state should we do this in? And we do Florida all the time. Like that's what we were just doing. Now forget Colorado. Ohio. Is that how you spell Minnesota? I don't think so. Alright. We do tons of cases out of Florida. Okay, what's the wording? What are we looking for? Thank you guys for naming every state. Excellent.
Well, Green, there's more states than that. There's only like 17 up there.
Well, I know. You get it. I was being sarcastic.
No, you said every state's up there.
Ah, shut the hell up. Okay, got it. Alright, body in a wall. Found a body inside a wall. Something like that. Well, let's see what this one says. Oh boy, concrete slab may hold missing woman's remains. The chief found a 2009 report department files that Barbara Miller's remains were in Milton home, but apparently the tip was not pursued. He also located a 2004 report that Egan put a body inside the wall of a home, and 3 people who is this guy? Who's this Egan individual? Concrete slab may hold missing woman's remains. Hope tests on a 3-ton hunk of concrete will soon solve the 1989 disappearance of a young mother by determining whether her remains were fed through a wood chipper and then entombed in the basement of a Pennsylvania duplex. What did we just stumble upon with that one? This is like some crazy shit. Dissecting the wall. A forensic pathologist is dissecting the walls, so to speak, piece by piece, hammering and chisel type, looking for the smallest of clues. Wait, so who is this Egan? Mike Egan. I actually knew somebody named Mike Egan. But that's not really uncommon. So wait, who's Mike Egan? What is this right here? Mike Egan Killer, hand-painted limit. Wow, so he paints. He's like a... He paints things. New DNA test. Murder. I don't know. Anyways, pretty wild. Let's see what else is over here. Yeah, so that was the other case that they were talking about. Right here. And I think I remember, I saw this was on IDTV. You remember that one? That was on IDTV, I saw that. They had him on surveillance. Okay, let's do something else though. I don't want to stick on body inside the wall. That's Alright. So let's just start off on, like, come up with something. We'll just type it, we'll narrow it down after the search. That way, if it's a really rare one, at least it'll capture it if it exists. So go ahead. What do you got?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, foot found in a river. How many feet do you think have been found in a river, Stephen Kellogg? Come on. Hundreds and thousands. Nah, we're not doing the water tank one. I know where you're trying to get with that. And what is water tank going to do? That would lead to every story ever done on water tanks. There'd be billions of them. Now, if you said body found in a water tank, then you want me to look up Elisa Lam, and let's just try to be a little bit more creative. Okay. I don't know. What do you know of that existing? I want this to be random where you're not thinking of a case. Okay. Human remain found in food. Okay, Lee D. Or Liver D. Let's see. That's 1913. Human food. Let's see. How about body parts found in food? Yeah, I don't see that showing up, Lee D, but hey, you know, I'm glad your mind thinks of things like that. That's, yikes. Listen, everybody. I don't think you want to go hang out with Lee D, you know, especially if she's hungry. You get what I'm saying? Probably have a sandwich right off to the side there, and then she starts looking at you. And yes, at first you think maybe she's, like, interested in you, but really she's looking at you like you're a possible sausage. And I don't mean in any sexual way whatsoever. I'm talking about, like, literally a sausage, okay? All right. What are we doing now? What's next? That's why you don't go to potlucks? Okay. Yeah, sizing you up. That's right. Exactly. You probably have a wood chipper. You know what I'm saying? Start it off, you know, get it ground down a little bit at least. Probably a wood chipper, then she works with the blender after that. Sure. Body found in boiler. Let's try that one. But let's do this one. We're looking for a serial killer after this one. Oh man, I don't really want to read that one. But it did pop up first. Chicago. Okay, today her dismembered and mutilated body was found in a wash boiler over a red hot stove. God, this guy, who the hell is this one? What the hell? Babes? That's not a baby, but a, you know, like a woman, you know. Margaret Coughlin. No, I guess it is a 3-year-old. I thought it was going to be like, you know, a babe, you know. But unfortunately, it's not. December 1st, Margaret Coughlin, 3 years old, 3-year-old daughter of a policeman, went across the street. Oh, okay, good. So maybe it's not her. Yesterday, to play with Joseph something, Pensy, a boy a little older than she. Today, oh yeah, so it was her. Her dismembered and mutilated body was found in a wash boiler over a red-hot stove, ready to be destroyed by boiling in the basement in Pence's home. This little kid. This other young boy. Miss Pence's was found lying on the floor, her throat cut with a bread knife. The body still... Wait, so I thought you said she was in the boiler. Her dismembered and mutilated body was found in a wash boiler over a red-hot stove. But then here it says... Wait, let me read this again. Hold on. Margaret Coughlin. Oh, wait, so Margaret Coughlin, the 3-year-old, was killed. And then Joseph Pensy, a boy, his mom, Mrs. Pensy, was found lying on the floor, her throat cut with a bread knife. The body was still warm, so wow. Doors and windows of the house had been locked from the inside. The head and one arm of the slain 3-year-old Coughlin baby, or child, were found under a pillow on the bed. Wait, so what? How did we get to this? This is like the sickest thing ever. The head and one arm of the slain Coughlin baby were found under a pillow on the bed in which Joseph Pence's and his wife slept last night. Police and reporters, unable to gain entrance to the house, found the hot stove in the basement and flames leaning, flames something up from a mass of paper and other refuse. The police theory is that Mrs. Pence's, in a fit of emotional insanity, killed her neighbor's child and ended her own life. I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if that kid did something. This is disputed by her own children. A daughter's 17, another 9. They maintain their mother was fond of little Margaret and was planning to buy her Christmas presents. The suicide theory is not borne out of by the manner of which Miss Pence's throat was cut. And that's, who does that anyways? Who cuts their throat? Well, I saw that on Walking Dead, though. So, okay, so it must be true. It is difficult, police said, to conceive how a person could inflict such a wound upon himself. Yeah, see, that's what I just thought. Officer Coughlin, that's the father. So the father of the kid is a police officer, the kid that died, of the murdered child, adheres to the suicide theory. He says Miss Pence's always had shown an almost insane love for the child, taking her to the Pence's home almost every day. But then why would she kill her? Joseph Pence's husband of the dead woman is a machinist and believes his wife slew the child and herself. Inquiry is being made into the recent death of four of Mrs. Pence's own children. What? She had 4 other kids that died? Oh boy. Recent deaths of 4 of... But this is back during the... almost right around the pandemic. Dr. William S. Hickson, head of the psychiatric laboratory at the municipal court, made the statement revelation a short time after the disclosure of the crime that October 31st, 1918, the entire Pence's family was examined by him and all found to be dementia something cases. Okay, what the hell's her name? Margaret Coughlin. This is in Ohio, ironically. Another Ohio Oh, it's Chicago, actually. So hold on. Now I gotta look this one up. You guys don't mind, do you? This one's like nuts over here. Okay, so there's multiple dates here, so let's see. Well, that's her right there. Woman fanatic slew child and self, police say. This is 1921. Oh wow, we can go to the house too. This is 1126 North Avers Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. There it is. And these homes here, they hardly ever change. So, I mean, these are probably hundreds of years old. Or not hundreds, but like over 100. Yeah, I guarantee it. That one was. I think it's that one, right? It's that one. So I think it's this side of the street then. You can't see the road, but it's right there, and then turn left after hitting the ground. So probably that house right there. Wait, was that at 1126? That's the house. You can see it. 1126. So in that red house right there. A voice which told her to brutally murder. Okay, did Mrs. Rachel Pence's religious something, fanatic maybe, to the point of mania, obey the commands of a mysterious voice which told her to brutally murder 3-year-old Margaret Coughlin in her home at 1126 North Avers Avenue? The theory was advanced last night by one of the most noted psychiatrists in Chicago. It was advanced after a detailed examination had been made of Mrs. Pence's body and of the history of her family. The fact that Mrs. Pence was the slayer of the little girl whose body dismembered, scalped, and charred was found gruesomely concealed in the Pence's home was held by the police last night to be too self-evident to afford contradiction. The suicide of the woman immediately after the hammering of a policeman's fist on her door, okay, maybe that's why they think that, apprised her that she was suspected and is pointed as positive proof of her guilt. Anyways, so that's a little girl there. Oh wait, is that the house? Look at that. That's funny. It could actually be the one right next to it though, now that no? Has the window, that looks like the same window, but so does the one next to it. Isn't that crazy? That's almost exactly 100 years ago, right? And that's the psycho right there. Looks like they removed it looks more like that there, but they could have just removed the porch that used to hang over the awning. Yeah, it matched it, so they just must have, this little awning must have been removed. Alright, so let me go back here and see if we can find, because see, that's December 1921. Wow, why is she mentioned in 1919? Miss Margaret Coughlin opened the Fall term. Okay, that's an adult. December. So let's just switch this over to December 1921. That's the second. Okay, here's December 27th. See if there's an update here. Sponge Squad busy mopping up Christmas. Well, let's see. Quantity of hooch was obtained. It's a different Margaret Coughlin. Jeez. How many Margaret Coughlins can you have in a city in 1921 that are in the paper nonetheless? Hey, I like this headline. Women urged to unite and drive against morons. I mean, you'd never see that in a newspaper now, I'll tell you that. That's got to be one of the best headlines ever written right there. Look at that. Let me just copy that one. Man, that's incredible. Hundreds of morbidly minded men and women gathered in the street before the home of South Park policeman Edward Coughlin. Okay, so he lived at 1131 North Avers. So he was probably... Okay, so he's right there too. Like literally next door neighbors, remember? Wait, was it 11? Yeah, 1131. Well, where the hell? Ah, man, I just lost the other one. But let me put a pin on this one. Yeah, see, it's just crazy. It's the same story. God, are they like right next door neighbors? Because I think the other one was the next house. It was all red, right? Yeah, right there. Yeah, basically just a little bit right across the street. Wild. C-O-U-G-H. Yeah, I think that's right. 1921. And then what was the other address again? It was something like 27. Well, we can just see it, right? Or 26. Wasn't it 1126? Yeah. Okay. So now we're back to the moron story. Women urged to unite and drive against morons. Hundreds of morbidly minded men and women gathered in the street before the home of South Park policeman Edward Coughlin at 1131 North Avers Avenue yesterday and watched the casket containing the remains of 3-year-old Margaret Coughlin murdered by Mrs. Rebecca Pensis, born to a hearse, I guess. The funeral followed a finding by a coroner's jury that the child had been strangled in the home where Miss Pensis was found dead, her throat cut. As the hearse was proceeding to the cemetery, Miss Bess C. Sullivan, assistant state attorney, attached to the juvenile court was sending letters to every women's club in Chicago urging the formation of a vigilance committee to combat the moron menace and the citing in proof of the need of such an organization. Man, that's so great. An anti-moron organization. We need more of those.
Well, Gray, who determines who's a moron?
Well, I think they're just really obvious, Mary Lou.
Okay, cool.
Like, I think you're one, Mary Lou.
Oh, Gray, you call me a moron.
Oh, well. Let's see. Poor Mary Lou. You know, she just never cuts a break. You know? You are asleep, read Miss Sullivan's letter. You must wake up and face the gravest situation confronting women and children of the city today. During the first few days of this present week, 19 mothers have appealed to me because of liberties attempted on children under 7 years of age. Yeah. See, even back in those times, there was these stupid pedophiles, you know, whack job, crazy people. All right. Well, what else we got? Well, hell, is there more in this? Let me go back. Okay, I don't remember where. Well, what, go there? No. All right, let's do another. What was the search that we led to that one though? Oh yeah, in a boiler. It was body in boiler, right? I guess that's like the preferred method back then. All right, what's the next one? What do you got? That was kind of a crazy one, though. Man. What was the guy's name that we randomly found from like 1920 that one time? I always forget his name. Or I don't always do, but I forget it sometimes. Well, I just put boiler because boilers would be weird. You know? Are you guys even still here? You guys are like really quick normally. Come on, Zozo. You guys get a little bit more creative. Bodies hung from trees. There's billions of those. Called what's the name of that? Nefarious. Yeah, there we go. Nefarious cases. I think he's going to be in here. No, it's not in there. Shoot. You guys don't remember that guy's name? Okay, remember, he's the one. This is the one I need you guys to remember. What's the one where the guy, yeah, he just got married to this girl and she was pregnant and she asked for a glass of water, but he came back, instead of water, he stabbed her to death, then cut her up into he started to cut her up into parts. And then he said, whoa, wow, this is too tough. And he tried to escape to Canada. And then he just turned himself in. And then he served he was in prison for 25 years. And then the guy died in this happened in 1920 something. And he died in 2007 or something. I mean, he got to live a whole life after that with kids and everything. You guys don't remember that one? And he was in a mental hospital, and they did all these reports on him. And come on, you guys, you can do it. Are you going to answer the question, Zozo? You're always good at the remembering. I'm not going to go on until we get the name of this one. Yeah, well, if you're new, you probably wouldn't have heard of it. Yeah, we covered it here multiple times because it was really interesting. You remember the glass of water? How could you not remember the rest, which is way more important? Well, you didn't miss it, Zozo. You were here. You've heard of it. A, B, C, D, E, F. Maybe F, G. I think there's a G in it. H, maybe? Okay, the case where it was like 1920 something, and the husband, he just got married to his wife, but she was pregnant, so he was kind of like he didn't really want to get married. And then she wanted a glass of water. He came back, stabbed her to death, and then started to dismember her. Then he had to go to an insane asylum for a little bit to test him out. And it looks like he served and went to prison for 25 years. And then he actually like died in 2007. It was crazy. Come on, you remember that one, right? Nobody remembers it? Man. I'm surprised I can't remember it because I've said it 1,000 times. No, he didn't escape. Remember, he went to prison for 25 years after that. He might have even served in the war. And then he... I remember I had those documents from the insane asylum that somebody sent me. They actually found them at a library. He also... Okay, he hit his sister with a claw hammer. Do you remember that one? Okay, I bet if that's probably will just show up in here. Hold on a second. No, come on, William. Jesus. Yes, there it is. Zozo did it. Walter Hibbard. Okay. That one's crazy as hell, man. That's all I can say. No, that was 1939, not 27, I think. Yeah, there he is right there. Walter Hibbard. Oh, jeez. Look at that. Because he had the urge to kill. Walter Hibbard killed his bride of a week in their honeymoon apartment. And that's the girl he killed right there. Husband slays young wife of only a week. His 18-year-old bride of a week found stabbed to death and decapitated. 20-year-old Walter R. Hibbard, he was only 20 at the time, surrendered yesterday and was quoted by police as having confessed he slew her because of an urge that he had to kill. Springfield investigators informed of the killing by Night Officer Angus J. McKinnon of the, whatever the hell it says. The young husband waived extradition by Springfield officers holding a warrant. The girl graduated last June from Howard Seminary, West Bridgewater. She was pregnant too. But good job, Zozo. Did it just pop into your head, or did you have to go find it really fast? See, I did have the H right. I knew there was an H. The Hibbard. Does it start with A? Look at H. Is there an H in there, everybody? Stupid. Stupid. You hear that? Stupid. Like that?
Did you hear what I said?
Everybody could hear that, right? Yeah, the claw hammer. Let's see if I type in Walter Hibbert and then claw hammer. Does that show up? Yeah, there we go. God. Oh, wow. Look at this. Okay, here we go. Please, he pled innocent in the same district court where legal barriers were removed only 10 days ago to permit his speedy wedding. Walter Hibbert, 20, pleaded innocent today to the charge of murder. Meanwhile, the mutilated body of his 18-year-old girl wife, Carolyn Harvey Hibbert, was taken to Lyman, Maine for burial. The decapitated body was discovered early Saturday in the bathtub of their cozy apartment after Hibbert walked into the Brattleboro, Vermont police station 60 miles distance and told police he had murdered his wife because of an urge to kill. I mean, you know. Hibbert was held without bail and his case was continued to November. As in all capital cases in Massachusetts, he will be given a mental examination. So we actually have the mental examination files, believe it or not, in that case. I don't know how that person found that, but the youth spent the hours preceding the call to court in a trance-like silence, contrasting with the violent sobbing which Deputy Police Chief John P. Fleming said accompanied an assertion that we were madly in love with each other. I wanted to kill someone, and this was the first opportunity I had. So he was really in love, but his urge to kill superseded the love, right? So she was just the first opportunity. Makes sense, huh? Police said that 7 years ago, Hibbert, which he would have been 13, assaulted a sister with a claw hammer. There was no prosecution, and after an examination, Boston brain specialists were reported to have said that the incident probably would not reoccur. Hibbert told police Saturday he had been under treatment by a psychiatrist. The severed body of the youth's attractive brunette bride was found Saturday in the couple's small honeymoon apartment. The girl's torso was in the bathtub. Her head was in the wash basin. Nearby was a hunting knife. Yeah. See how sick this shit is? It's crazy, right? And guess what? See, he must have been born in 1919, and he died in 2006 or something like that. Like right around that time. Can you imagine? So he kills her in 1939, and he gets to live another 65 years somewhere in prison, but he got married a couple times, has all these grandkids out there. Isn't that sick? Doesn't that make you pissed off? Yeah. I hate it. Hey, 2 cents. What's going on? Alright, thanks for helping find that one. Again. I think it's Walter R. Hibbert, if I remember right. Okay, let's do another one now. Where are we going now? Yeah, I remember he tried to burn his house down too once. Oh, of course, he can be rehabilitated, yeah. I was always wondering, wherever he moved, what happened? Why he's too small, William? Let's just start off with the words you want to look up. Hey, you come up with something, 2 cents. We're doing a search for, you try to find like serial killers by typing in what may have happened to the victim. Oh yeah, right. Wasn't his face or something kind of weird? That's right. He had, like, he felt insecure about it. Something about his face. Hey, Lanky Tor. I could try that one. Human skin found. Let's see. I don't want anybody testing it out there, though. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that. Ancient ledger that may be covered in human skin found in England. Oh, my God. How would you like to have that? A 300-year-old book that appears to be bound in human skin has been found in northern England. Wow. The practice known as anthropodermic bibliogra something was sometimes used in the 18th and 19th centuries when accounts of murder trials were bound in the killer's skin. Really? God. Were we that sick? Large pieces of human skin found. This is 1937. Look at that. It says Walter Hibbert was living near... I'm just kidding. It doesn't say that. August 12th, the source of... This is in Louisiana. Large pieces of carefully preserved human skin found under a bridge near Mangum puzzled the Richland Parish. The pieces, one 10 inches wide by 24 inches long, and the other 12 by 18, apparently were taken from the thigh of a white woman and the chest of a black man, respectively. Deputy Sheriff N.F. Ward said the pieces of skin had apparently been tanned and that the small holes perforated the edges of each, leading officers to believe the skins had been tacked on a tanning frame. What in the hell's going on here, everybody? Yeah, the book just needs a little human touch to it. Had been tacked to a Thursday by... The skins were wrapped in a June issue of a New Orleans newspaper. Authorities are of the opinion that the skins had been taken from some medical school. Now, of course, you want to say it that way to make it seem, you know. I was shocked that they didn't say, now, if you're somebody out there that's walking around with missing a 10 by 8, 24 stretch of skin off of your thigh, give us a call. Or if you know somebody who's, you know, seems to be wearing a huge bandage. Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, this is weird. Richland officials are making the case down as an unsolved mystery unless clues are found. Let's see. Well, there's another one. I guess this is a thing now. Right? Human skin found on parked auto. A car parked near something field. This is in Florida. Has been seized by Navy officials in the search for the hit-and-run driver of an auto that killed E.H. Stevenson. Wow, that's gross. Human skin found on the front of the car is being compared with skin from the body. Well, that sounds like a clear deal there. Let's see. Seat covers. Oh, come on, Kimberly. Oh my God. How dare you? Yeah. All right, what's another one? Where's your word? Posing the bodies. There you go. How about like body was posed? There you go. All right, Jen Richards became a freak. Thank you. You know what? I just thought of something. You'd have to be a freak to find... I find this stuff interesting, and I think most freaks do. Ex-cop seeks truth in murders. Other than the had been molested but not raped. Their bodies were posed in grotesque sexual positions. Each was molested with an object after death. Most of the younger victims had been raped, and few of their what case is this? This is 1993. In June of 1962, John Fitzgerald Kennedy had been in the White House for 18 months. Okay, serial killer was not a familiar term. They called them maniac killers back then. Police found Anna Slizer, 55, a Latvian immigrant, dead on the floor of her apartment kitchen on June 14th. Her blue bathrobe belt had been tied in a large bow around her neck, so that's a signature. To tie it like that, there was no need to make a bow out of it. Over the next 2 months, 5 more women, the youngest 65 and the oldest 85, so this person likes to kill older people, were strangled in and around Boston. So is this the Boston Strangler that we hear about? Each woman's neck was decorated with a garish bow of nylons and undergarments. The killer had not forced his way into the apartments. The apartments were ransacked, but nothing was stolen. A little bit like the East Area rapist there. Boston residents, especially women, were terrified. They bought dogs, guns, and extra locks for their doors at a record pace. The next 7 murders baffled police even further. 3 victims were in their 20s. One was 19. The killer seemed to have switched from older women to young ones. Other differences were apparent. The older women had been molested but not raped. The bodies were posed in grotesque sexual positions. Each was molested with an object after death. Most of the younger victims had been raped, and few of their bodies were posed. Is this the Boston Strangler? Strangle? Strangle. I couldn't say it. Huh? This is the Hobo Trail Rider? What do you mean? That's the name of this guy right here? So this is 1962. Here, let me... This is in Florida, I think. Is that what... What do you think that was? That was weird. Was he 55? See, look at all these people being strangled here. This is weird. 3 strangled deaths probed by authorities. Discovered in a canal. Yeah. And this is in November. So I think those might have been the later ones. And then in June. Huh, I don't know. You guys ever heard of that case? Any of you guys? I mean, the Boston Strangler. Yeah, it sounds like it was. What was the term that you came up with up there? Hold on. Posing, yeah. Okay, so that's is that working? Partially decomposed. Jeez. All right. Anyways, what else you got? Chloe just got a bath. I don't look up names. Drama must remain on stage. We're just looking up random. That's the killer in this case that we're talking about. Is that what you're saying? He's the killer in those 1962. Is that what you're saying? No, but removes eyes isn't what would be found, right? Like, how would that be worded in an article that would say that? You could probably say eyes were removed, you know. The mother of a dead man whose eyes were removed for use in cornea. Oh, that's good. My brother had his corneas removed. Yeah, but how do you know that's the case that they were talking about? Drama must remain on the stage. The one that we just found, how do you know that's what that was? Let me see. Yeah, that's not him. This happened in 1962. That's not him. Now that one just because he got assaulted. I'm gonna look up something else. No thanks. I kind of want to find that one from before, though, and I can't. The 1962 one, just a minute ago. Don't even know now. I think it was bodies were. There it is. That's the 1993 one. Yeah, see, there it is. 1994, Mary Sullivan. And a red scarf and pair of hose tied around her neck. And there it is. Okay, Anna Slessers. So I'm going to open up another version of this. Ah, did that wrong. That was the date. 1962. Anna Slessers. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, hey, drama must remain on the stage. When we do this thing, you don't type in names of people. You just type in a random search query and see what it turns up to. It's not like, hey, look up this guy, you know. This is one that we already looked up randomly. Now I'm looking up one of the names of the people. Murders linked. The death scene. Let me see if I type in her name in Google. Murder of Anna Slessers. That doesn't sound like a common name. Oh, there it is. It is the Boston Strangler. All that time, did they ever? And they did arrest the guy, right? There he is. Albert DeSalvo confessed to strangling 13 women to death. And she's one of the victims of the Boston Strangler. So, there you go. That's all I wanted. Can I get a boom? Yeah. Well, I said it was the Boston Strangler, Regina. That's what I guessed. I have to prove stuff to myself. Yeah. He doesn't look like a serial killer. That was my first guess, was that he was the Boston Strangler, but I didn't have the names or anything, and it was kind of random back then. No, he did young people too, 2 cents. That's the thing. He switched midstream. I wonder what he was all about. Yeah, that's right. Boom, chakalaka. Okay. What's the next? Another query. How long have we been on? We're almost at 3 hours anyways. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't read comments. I like to do stuff on my own. I barely read it. I read like about 1/10 of them. It's hard to, if you're doing a show, you got to do the show, not just sit there and go like this. Yep. Why would you weigh a body down in a pool? That seems like you'd weigh it in a river. In a pool, it's just sitting there, right? But look at, you're right. There is a case. There is one out of a million years. 1931. Yeah, we already did eyeballs removed. Didn't come up with anything. It's always like, oh, a guy got in a car accident and his eyeballs were removed. 17-year-old girl and her boyfriend slain and bodies weighed down by stones in a pool. This is in Kentucky. Lima O. Okay. The vicious murder of a young woman and her escort was revealed here today when the body of Earl Truesdale, 20, weighted down by stones, was recovered from a quarry pool. A quarry pool? Oh, okay, it's just a pool of water. It's not a swimming pool. A week ago, the body of the young girl, Thelma Woods, 17, was taken from the same pool and had been weighed down with a large rock. Why are they calling it a pool? I guess back then, nobody had swimming pools, so a pool meant a pool in a, you know, in a waterway. Huh. Late today, when the pumps had reduced the pool to 5 feet, men working with grappling hooks snared Truesdale's body. His trousers had been removed, filled with stones, and tied to his waist. Wounds appeared on his head. Miss Wood's body was found one end of the pool, and the youth's body was recovered from the other end. 2 suspects were being held in connection with the case tonight. Well, there you go, Zozo. Your weird-ass suggestion actually turned into something. In a pool? It wasn't the right kind of pool, though. That was 1855 right there. That's an accident. I don't know. That's just remains of multiple people found. Yeah, got lots of those. Yeah, listen, I don't swim where you know, I'm food for another animal, you know. Yeah, like I don't go in the ocean. Yeah. Well, anyways, I think I'm done with tonight's show. 2 hours and 47 minutes. Some of those ones are, we've done body parts in freezer. The ones that usually end up with serial killers are if you type in something like, you know, dismembered body, you know, something like that, or yeah, if you live in Australia, you wouldn't ever want to go in the water. Got sucked through the drain and met Huckleberry Finn? No, do not. Yeah. Yeah, some weird stories tonight, huh? Crazy. Should probably always leave a little bit of time for newspapers.com. Normally we do, it's a super chat event. Or if you want yours, that's what that's for. That way I can see it. You know, you got the hundreds of you typed in, not hundreds of you, but a lot of you typed it in, and that also, you know, helps the channel out, obviously. And by the way, the charities. Seen too many? Your brain's exploded? No, I'm not typing in. Killed at least 23. Man, you're really focused on that one case. Drama must remain on the stage. I like to do most of the time ones that aren't solved, you know? Box jelly. Box jelly. Huh. Interesting. Hey, thanks, Slavis Kremar. Appreciate it. Well, I don't know. There wasn't a ton of people here tonight, but I hope you guys found it interesting anyways, at least. But by God, if I had just worked Summer Wells into a few of the conversations, we might have had 700 or 800.
Keeping it real. Great work, X.
In your dream, beholder? Hey, thank you, Jen Richards. And I'm green. Oh, yeah. That's right, you are green. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Love you, grand freaks. And I'm green. Love newspaper.com times. Heart.
Yeah, newspapers.com is huge. For me, anyways. It's really, like, you can find a lot of stuff in there. And you can basically tell the whole story, especially on older cases where the news coverage was 10 times better than it is now. If you get bored, you guys should go look at my series on Malvina Cruz, or Krutz. Malvina Krutz, right? Krutz. That one's weird. That's a weird one. We went over all the newspaper articles, and that was a weird one. So thank you to...
Hi. Oh my God, look at the dog. Thank you to Lee D, Nicole Wilson, Norwegian, Spaghetti Lee, Rita Schaefer, Randy Bradford, Pancakes, Randy Bradford, Sarita, Lee D, Zozo.
The 3 Aussies in a row. Oi, right?
Randy Bradford. Heather Marie with a cat eye. Connie Lee. Linda Howell. Georgina Stoliker. And then Miss Frellis, a membership upgrade to Megazoid. Georgina Stoliker. Michelle Nicholas, Jen Richards cat eye. Thank you. Then Jen Richards became a channel member. Welcome. Slavis Kamar and Jen Richards. Wasn't that great? Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes, well, thank you guys. We got the month started off now. We're on to a new month. Committed suicide, but his family suspected of guilt. I don't know. I don't know about that one. That sounds like a really common situation. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I think the lights are a little too bright on my face. But we'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll be covering some new cases. You just never know what might be coming up. All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector.
Hey, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that?
Always gonna be a pup protector.
That's scary. That's really scary, Gray.
And I mean, oh my God, we've played it 100 times.
Okay, gee.
Just remember, I've a temper fucking check-cha. I have no
agenda. I'm a pretender.
And I'll serve it to you.
Are you okay, Paula?
And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true of Linda.
Did you hear that?
So I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody. Talk to you. Yeah, Paulette Leonard I freaked her out with that scream in the background. This one right here. That's where you put this one up here, see? That one, right there. That's the emoji for it.
Sector, projector, I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector. And I'm always gonna be a puppet protector. Fool reflector, interceptor. Good night, Regina Carter. Sorry, I didn't see your Boston Strangler comment earlier, but I was trying to look it up myself, okay? Alrighty.
Wait a minute. Wasn't I the one looking it up?
Well, I am you too, right?
Well, not really. You're digital.
Oh, weird. That's weird, Gray.
Okay, well, don't make that mistake again, alright?
Okay, gee, Gray. Poppity poppy poppy pop, diddy poppy pop poppy, don't fast ever come alive, yo. Give me what you got, cause I'm guaranteed to make you rock. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me wonder mark, what are you waiting for? Bongo, I got no mongo, wanna sing on a songo. Gonna sing you a songo, I got no bongo. I can't go wrongo, wanna rungo, wanna run. Diggity tack tack, diggity tack tack, diggity tack tack, diggity tack tack, da 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 da. detector. Hello? Anybody there? G.
Oh my God! Are you gonna say G again?
G. I mean, no. Hey, are those flies for me? That's me. Went to McDonald's, I had myself a handle. Went to McDonald's, didn't see me no Ronald. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try playing me like an old projector. Everybody for showing up tonight. Awesome, man. Really cool.
Hey, do you mind if I say goodnight to everybody? Yes, thank you all for supporting the channel, hanging out here. I know we're not talking about Summer Wells or Chris Watts or, any of the other cases that are out there at this point. But, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And thank you for showing up.
Gosh, Gray, I want to cover those cases. Gee.
Oh, well. Well, if there's some breaking news, we'll get right on top of that. All right. Sleep well, everybody.
What about me, Gray?
You too, Mary Lou. You too.
Thanks, Gray.
Oh, my God.
See, why do you have to sound like that? Gee.
Oh, God. I don't have time for that. All right, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. And be safe out there.